Hello everyone, Time Rover here, and welcome to the start of a new series for the game Surviving the Aftermath. If you're not familiar with Surviving the Aftermath, it is a strategy game currently in development by Iceflake Studios and being published by Paradox Interactive. It is available on early access through the Epic Store, and you can check out the links below. And I believe after it's released, you will see it on the Steam store as well. But in order to gain early access, you need to go through Epic. Anywho, the game itself has been around, I believe, since October. They announced it at PDXCon this year. And I can't exactly remember when I picked it up. It was soon after that. That it was actually released on early access, and I've had it for a couple months now, and I was planning on doing a video earlier than this, but then my computer went to the fritz, and just finally now getting to circle back around and take a look at the game. So I'm really pumped about it because I did play around with it before my computer went down, and I was really excited to get in there and see it. But that being said, there has been a few updates, I think 2 if I'm correct, for the early access build, and we're currently on version 1.2.0.5239. So yes, that is what version we're currently on. But anywho, and you'll notice that it is sort of, it's Paradox Games. Surviving, is it sort of like a successor or a sequel to Surviving Mars? Technically, I think it's been billed as like a spiritual successor, but they are 2 different studios developing Surviving Mars. And Surviving the Aftermath. So it is a whole other development studio that's doing Surviving the Aftermath. But it's in that same genre of strategy games that Paradox has been publishing, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at it. We're going to go ahead and do a new game. We're going to be greeted with the option of doing a tutorial or not doing a tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and elect not to, since I've gone through it already. Hopefully I can remember things, because I went through it 2 months ago or something like that when it first came out. And I'm sure I'll be fine, but I don't really want to go into the tutorial, as I will most likely start remembering as I go through. Anywho, let's take a look at the actual difficulty settings. So much like Surviving Mars, and how you can sort of set your difficulty level based on the map you're playing, as well as your sponsorship and level of resources, and so on and so forth. Surviving the Aftermath takes that and takes it into sort of more deeper tuning your difficulty and everything, where we have various different sort of categories: environment, catastrophes, resources, survivors, challenge, gatekeeper, and so on and so forth, where we can sort of set the difficulty based off of these, 1 being sort of a little easier all the way to 3, which is the most difficult. And you can see the different criteria, or the different outcomes to choosing them. So for environment, we've got, there are only few who remember the spark that started it all. A chain reaction of global catastrophes wiped out most of the planet's population and made people turn against each other. Those who are left must now survive the aftermath in this post-apocalyptic world. So we're given 3 choices. We've got cities are demolished, but nature prevailed. The world is desolate and unforgiving. The planet is barren and wasteland. So again, this one's going to give us a little bit more hospitable environment, as well as some more fertile soil. This one's sort of average fertility in the soil as well, and then this one's just sort of going to be like the desert, and so we're not going to grow very much. It's going to be uncomfortable for our citizens. I'm going to go ahead and do a 1 on this one. Cities are demolished, but nature prevailed, just as a way of sort of lowering our difficulty on the first go around here. Catastrophes: in the wake of the events, resulting extreme weather conditions and other calamities became a normal part of everyday life. So once again, we're going to choose our difficulty. We've got the worst has passed, time to rebuild. We'll get occasional catastrophes and a contamination level of 20%. It's still dangerous. It's still a dangerous world, but will prevail. Common catastrophes and 35% contamination. And then it feels like the apocalypse never ended. Frequent catastrophes and a 60% level of contamination. I'm going to go ahead and do the 2 there. just because I don't want to do ones across the board. Resources, everyone has their breaking point. Eventually, it is not enough just to survive through the day. People need hope, and there finally is some. It has been a long road to get here, but that which was before now can be left in the past. So again, I'm going to go with the one here. Just again, I'm going to start with our sort of a bunker full of resources and that we can tear down. The people around you are survivors. The people around you are the thin red line, which keeps the group alive. They are far from perfect, but everyone has made it this far. You can trust them with your life, and they trust you with theirs. So we got hardened individuals, we got a band of survivors, a group of ambiguous misfits. My gosh, I'm not speaking well. We're going to go with the band of survivors able to care for themselves. So I'm sort of alternating 1, 2, 1, 2, and see how that goes. Challenge. These survivors will face challenges both large and small. Some caused by bandits, others because of their own actions. There are also other societies in the world that won't hesitate to strike back if you look at them the wrong way. So we've got some challenges are to be expected, scattered bandit groups, easy exploration, and we'll get into that as we get into the game, the exploration component of this, which is kind of really cool. Numerous challenges are assured, hard exploration, organized bandits. Insurmountable challenges face you. It's the apocalypse, plenty of hardened bandits. I don't remember. Let's go with easy exploration. Gatekeeper. Life is unfair, but sometimes it feels like you are not alone. Whether it is an invisible guardian or just pure fate, but it sure feels like someone is watching over us. Path is challenging, but worth the risk. It's a tough road to walk, but never unfair. Suffering or success. We're going to go with it's a tough road to walk, but never unfair. And we're up to a difficulty of 50%. So we're going to get our visuals. This is our banner. For our little colony here. We're gonna, obviously, from me, I'm gonna take the old shamrock. And we are going to choose, what are we gonna choose? I don't really want the green background, even though I like green. It's not dark enough for me. It looks a little awkward with the green shamrock. I think I'm gonna just go with red. Yeah, that's gonna be my jam right there. All right, let's go and hit continue. So we've got some naming to do, and as always with naming in my series, I'm gonna go back to my good old trusty in-game name request form, if I can locate it. There it is, and we are gonna go with a name of Iridia. All right. Colony's name is going to be Iridia. Welcome in. Iridia, Iridia's Grotto. How's that? Iridia's Grotto. Actually, Grotto. Oh my gosh. No, I was right. Right? My gosh, I can't spell today. I'm pretty sure. Nope. We're going to go with Iridia's Grotto. We're going to go with Iridia's Grotto. We're going to go with Iridia's Grotto. Let's go with something along those lines. So yeah, if you are new to the channel and have not yet filled it out, there is a Google form in the description below. Now, if you fill out, you can find your name in this game or any of the other games we feature on the channel. So let's go ahead and confirm you. Colony motto, never conquered, always feared. Adapt and overcome. I like that. Let's you go ahead and do that, please. Alright, so then we get a summary. We can go ahead and just start. A large stockpile of food helps the colony survive through catastrophes. Alright, well, that's good to know. So one thing I've noticed about the game itself is sort of it's a combination of Surviving Mars and if you've ever played Frostpunk. Just because of the, Surviving Mars with regards to like building up your colony and everything, but the exploration kind of gameplay, really reminiscent of that Frostpunk mechanic of exploration, in my opinion. All right, so this is our map here. Our buildable area, so to speak. It's not the actual world map. There is a world map, which we'll look at in a minute. But this is our buildable area. We've got resources strewn all over the place, as well as some nuclear waste. But we've got metal over here. We've got metal scrap that we can collect with our workers. We've got some planks, some ruined areas that we can get some wood planks from. We've got berries over here to collect some food. What else? We've got concrete, small concrete ruin over yonder, and then a large one over here as well. So we've got various resources that we need to start collecting. Well, how do we do that? Well, if we take a look at the buildings we currently have, we've got ourselves a water well. It's producing 15 water. We've got ourselves a stockpile. So the stockpile has our stockpile of goods in it and sort of our materials. We've got our food storage, currently no food in there. And we've got our bunker. This bunker has a number of pre-defined starting materials. Again, this is the easiest start. There's also a broken down van, and then I believe nothing for the third, or maybe some like broken down car or something like that. But we're on the easiest one where we get the bunker. Once all these materials are gone, we can then demolish the bunker and gain additional resources as well. Speaking of which, if we take a look at the sort of the UI here, we've got up here average happiness, or the happiness of our colonies. Right now, the happiness is tanking because we have no rooms, no houses or anything for our people, so they're homeless. So that's a minus 200. We can get stats on our actual colony number. We've got carriers who transport resources and build and repair. We've got workers who work their assigned buildings, and children go to the school if there is one. So we've got a total population of 10, and out of that 10, we've got 7 carriers and 7 adults who are deviated into carriers and workers, but we only have 7 carriers right now. We haven't assigned any workers. And then children who really do nothing until they grow up. Moving to the right, we've got food. We've got 75 right now. Consumption is 8, so we got to get some more food going at some point because we're not producing anything right now. Water-wise, we've got a surplus of 5 by the looks of it. We're consuming 10, producing 15. And I think, yeah, just the one water well will produce 15. So we're good on water for right now, but we're going to want to increase that as soon as possible as our population grows. Energy, we're not going to worry too much about that right now because we currently don't have the ability to create energy, but eventually buildings will utilize energy. Of course, we've got our building materials, our basic materials. We got the planks or wood. We're not producing anything right now. Concrete as well. We've got plastic. We've got metal. And then we sort of get the manufactured goods. We've got fiber. It's a refinable material. Actually, fiber might not be, that might be still a tier 1. Possibly. Anywho, parts. High-end mechanical bits used for advanced buildings and so on and so forth. We've got components, we've got electronics, and we've got the fun box. Over here, we've got our tools, which is a colonist item. So it says everyday items for digging, cutting, and so on. Colonist without tools works at a considerably slower pace. So we want to keep tools around so that our workers work a little bit better. In terms of clothes, a set of layered clothing offering some measure of protection against the elements. A colonist without them is more susceptible to get hypothermic or will become irradiated. So yeah, we want to keep clothes around and tools around essentially. And then of course we've got medicine that will help our people get better. We've also finally got research. Now our research, as far as I remember, you gain research through the exploration of the map and various events. I did not reach, last time I played, the ability to create our own science. So I'm not sure if that was ever implemented, if that is implemented, or, how far into the game it is. But I guess it is possible that you can create your own science points, but I can't say for sure if that is the case right now. So anywho, we will get to the science eventually. Down here, we've got our help button. We've got a radio station, which, let's turn off the radio. We've got statistics. What do we got in here? Statistics, yeah, nice little Nice little informational overlays here to get a feel for how our colony's doing. That's always appreciated. We've got specialists. Again, these are people that we send out into the explore the world, and they come with usual sort of perks in here and there. Tech trees. Yep, we've got a number of tech trees or categories here: food production, colony security, exploration. All of these have various different things we'll take a look at as soon as we have the ability to put down our first science. And then trade. Currently, we have no discovered societies. All that will come into play once we progress a little bit further into the game. All right, so now that we've gotten all that taken care of, let's take a look at our colony and start building up. Okay, so what I'm going to first do is I'm going to go to the build menu here, and I want to set down some roads because it'll help people like move around. And luckily, the roads are cheap. You don't really need... They don't use any construction material. They just use time. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw down a few road bits and areas here. I'm going to do something like that, I think. Just lay that out, and that's going to be fine. And then we need some homes for our people. So we'll go back to the build menu, head over to shelters. And we've got two options. We've got a tent and emergency shelter. From what I can gather, I mean, the tent houses 2 people and costs 2 planks, 2 fibers? No, plastic. Whereas the emergency shelter is essentially double and adds in concrete, but it triples the amount of people that can be housed. And I think the emergency shelter is probably a little bit better overall. So we're going to go ahead and throw that down. Do something like that. That way we get, more bang for our buck, so to speak. I'm going to need another shelter, though. So, do I want to put it... Ooh, Do I want to put this... Yeah, I don't know. We might want to do something like this. Yeah, it's fine. It'll be a little off, but... and try to tuck things in as best I can. We'll see what happens. All right, so once that gets built up, that will give us room for 12 people. We'll want to add in another one eventually, but for now, that's going to be okay for our population. Let our people do that, and we will look for resources. So in order to gather these resources, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our stockpile here, and we want to move our work area. Because we want to tell our colonists, our workers, where they need to gather up resources. We can hold control and scroll the mouse wheel to sort of increase the radius that they will actually work. So within the green circle, if it lights up, it means they're going to actually interact with it and grab those resources. If it's outside of that, they're not actually going to do the work to gather those resources. So what we want to do is we want to find someplace fairly close with a lot of resources sort of mixed. And I mean, we're looking for concrete and planks in the stockpile here. Let's see, we've got planks there. We've got a small bit of concrete there. Whoa, boy. Not ready for that yet. If we go over here, let me grab you again. Move over here. We've got concrete. This is a big concrete area. It's a little farther away. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of set it up with this. And I might actually expand you a little bit. Yeah. Try to get all those resources in as soon as possible. I think that's going to be grand. Okay. In terms of food, sort of the same thing. Except here we're just looking for the berry bushes. So again, if you click on the building, anything that it will gather, it's going to highlight green and show you. So right now you can see we're not actually, the planks and everything aren't growing, or not growing, aren't glowing because the food shortage or storage is not applicable there. All right, so let's look. Do we have any like clusters? I mean, we've got some over here, which I can sort of go ahead and put in. Nuclear waste. A deposit of radioactive material that might burst out toxic waste around it. Removing it requires the operational. Okay. Move here to dispose of the pollution. We might want to, I mean, we don't have the tech for it yet, but I don't know if, like, we want to work away from there. Meh, I think it's fine. We're going to take the berries from the berry tree in between the two toxic wastes. I'm sure that's going to be okay. I'm sure that nothing's going to go wrong there. All right, so we've got that going. The bare necessities are happening. We're gathering resources. Things are looking up for us. So what is our short-term goal here? Well, first things first, before we can do any sort of exploration in the world map, we need to build up our gate, which takes a good bit of resources, actually. Where are you? Right there. The gate. The most iconic sight of every post-apocalyptic colony is its gate. It is the place where people's fates are decided, a thin line between life and death, with those who get in and those who are left out. The first gate is a landmark visible from far away. It will attract both the good-willed survivors and those who take what they want to survive. So we can't leave, but at the same time, we're not going to get any sort of outside visitors until we get the gate up. And as you can see, it takes a good bit of resources to do that. Is there anything else we might want to throw down in the interim before we actually look to get all that stuff going? Just out of curiosity. I mean, we have enough to... We don't have the metal, so we might want to get down a metal producer, and I think we have that. That's tool shops, tailor, yeah, not quite yet. The scrapper, there we go. So the scrapper scavenges metal and junk from metal deposits. So we want to get one of these down first and start actually producing resources, I think, before we want to actually build up the gate. So we've got a number of sort of tier 1 resource buildings. Scrappers generate metals. The recycler generates plastics. Sawmill brings wood in. And then we've got the forester as well, which grows saplings, and we can actually plant new trees and everything. Because right now, all we're doing to get the planks are like just scavenging around for them. But we're going to want to actually produce our own stuff. So let's go ahead and throw down the scrapper here. I think we want this to be near a big pile of this stuff. So let's put you, say, right there. And I'm going to go ahead and throw down a dirt path over here and like this. I guess that's going to be fine. Do I need... No, I think it's fine. Construction material. I was going to maybe put it like directly over this thing, but there's a part of me that wants to keep things sort of fine. Let's cancel that. Let's move it. Let's actually move it over and put you like directly adjacent while still on this road. I don't know if we're going to put anything over here, but it'll just make more sense. Got a lot of metal scrap over here, so we're going to do that. I believe they will walk to the metal scrap, but it is always a good thing to put things nearby to sort of limit the distance that they actually move. We've got some plastic over here as well, so we'll want to take care of that. But I think getting a sawmill up is going to be okay. Well, I mean, we've got a lot of wood around. We've got a number of planks over there. So maybe what we do is we go with the plastic first so that we can start getting some plastic in. I think I like that. Let's get the recycler up. Where do I want you to be? Can I sort of get you... Oh, you're not going to let me put you there, are you? That annoys me. Because... I mean, I guess I'm just going to put it here. Yeah, that's fine. Do something like that. All right, looks like our scrapper are finished. Now, we're going to need workers for all these buildings, so that's something to keep in mind. Right now, we've got what? We've got one person working here. Construction completed. Excellent. we are going to be taking some metal scraps and go there. We're going to keep the work area here is fine because we've got this big long or big metal scrap pile there. We're going to get the recycler up and running. Excellent. And then we'll probably go sawmill next. That way we can start getting planks. Again, the planks, because one thing we don't want to run out of are planks. We're making plastics now. We're not we're not getting the actual, we can't make concrete though. Yeah, you know what? Because if we put down one person in each of these work slots. So if we take a look here, we've got 2 workers and 5 carriers, which is fine. Just getting a trickle of resources there is going to be okay. Let's get a sawmill down. Now, where we want to put this sort of like in an area where there's a good amount of trees. I think if we look here, I want to try, let's see, can we zoom out? Because I don't know if we want to put this, where do we want to put this? I don't know. Nowhere normal there. Okay. Anywho, we're going to probably just hold off on the sawmill for right now. In terms of food, that's always a quick thing that we need to get. We've got trappers. We've got a fishing hut, so we can start fishing. But I think what we're going to do is just do a small field. I think that's going to be sort of the route we take. All clear. We have to do it. We can't put it over here. No construction resources. Cannot be placed on barren soil. We actually need the fertile soil. That would make sense. Can I do it over here? Not really. I mean, we're gonna have all this buildable area. All right, let's plop you down over here. Let's cancel that construction. I want to make sure I got this in good areas here. And then we will put another one, say, on the other side. Build the dirt road. There we go. And that'll get us some food and start producing them. I don't think they take, yeah, no construction materials required. So that's always fantastic. And we'll see how that goes. So we got a nice little start going on here. I haven't built the gate yet, but we'll get there. I just want to get sort of our bare necessities going. What have we got here? Waiting for a selection. Up next, we need... So we've got 2 selections here. We've got corn. Corn or maize is a fast grower that can yield multiple small harvests in a short amount of time. Very low endurance against catastrophes. Got a growth rate of normal and a low yield. So it's like different than RimWorld, huh? Next, we've got potatoes. Potatoes grow slowly, but provide a nice harvest. As the edible parts are underground, it endures catastrophes better than any crop. So it grows slowly, but it gives us a medium yield. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually select corn for one of these fields. And then on the other one, we're going to do the other. And sort of like do my strategy in RimWorld where I like offset them until we're in sort of a nice little equilibrium. Let's go with potatoes over there. All right, where are we at with workers and carriers? Okay, so we've got 2. So we got 4 workers. We've still got 3 carriers. So yeah, we're going to want to set up some other things. We're not quite in need of any water yet. I think the 2 fields are going to do for us for a while, so I'm not going to worry about doing the food just yet. Now, in terms of fiber here, various sheets of fiber. Okay, so we're making both fiber and plastic there. That's okay. Sawmill, let's get a sawmill up, I think, over here. I don't really like it over there, to be perfectly honest. Unfortunately, I can't get it sort of positioned well over this way. All right, let's put it here. Boom. Go there. That way we have all the bare necessities here going, and I think I'm going to be okay with that. Let's go ahead and we don't want that to diminish the road or deconstruct the road. We want to actually put that out there. Perfect. Planks are depleted. This area is going to get depleted pretty darn quickly, but that's going to be, I think, okay. All right, so this is going to basically take over all of our workers at the moment. We're going to be down to probably 2 carriers, so things are going to be a little rough going. But I think we're going to be okay because we're going to be producing our own stuff again, so that's going to be fine. We've got everything more or less taken care of, and I feel confident in actually setting up the gate now. Next up, we're going to try and get some medical tents going. But we don't necessarily need those right now. We need 2 tool shops soon, but we're still good on tools, and tailoring shops as well. But I want to get more people first. So I think next step in the next episode, we are going to go and build the gate and then talk about the exploration and see all the areas. I mean, it's very large that we can actually explore and send our people out and do events and find other survivors and so on and so forth. So fantastic. In fact, Iridia's Grotto here, we've got a farm right next door. Look at that. Look at that. We've got hazards. We've got possible 35, what is that, cloth? I guess. Or no, jerky or something. I think food. So yeah, resources jerky. Dumb. So we got that going. So we'll talk about that next episode. Thanks, as always, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, especially with it being the first episode of a new series. If you want to see more, by all means, hit that like button. And if you want to see more content, as always, I strongly encourage you to subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter at TimeRover to find out when things go live and so on and so forth. Otherwise, we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.